The best time to buy a home in Kansas City is quickly approaching, at least according to a couple different articles and a couple different pieces of information. So in this video, we're going to break down seasonally what are the advantages to buying in the spring, summer, fall, winter. If you can afford to adjust your timeline, is it even worth it? So full disclosure here, the best time to buy a home is when you're ready to buy a home. And I know that's like the worst answer ever and the answer that you absolutely don't want to hear. But like the other good answer to this is best time to buy a home was like 5 years ago, before this COVID mess, before the prices really shot up. But anyway, the purpose of this video is more the patterns that we see year to year, because humans are creatures of habit. We like to do certain things during, certain parts of the year, and there are absolutely better times of the year to purchase a home if your priorities are not having to compete against a lot of people, having more options on the market to look at, and ultimately having a better chance of getting a good deal or a lower price. So that's what we're going to do. We're breaking it down into two parts. We've got the spring and summer, famously one of the most popular times, most competitive times for people to buy and sell homes. And then, of course, we'll cover the fall and winter, which happens to create quite a few more opportunities than you'd expect. Part number one is all about the spring and summer. Not only is the weather better, you've got, sun's out, everything looks nice and green and bright, but also the kids are out of school, which can make a massive difference because moving is quite disruptive, and you definitely don't want to disrupt the school year. It's just too much to juggle. So on face value, it seems like the summer itself would be the most popular time, right? The time when the prices are the most expensive, when you're competing against more people than any other time of the year. And that's kind of true. However, take a look at this chart from Realtor.com. This shows the best time to list your home. Everything in red, that's when the prices are very high, which is the criteria that they were looking at. And you can see it does have it labeled as the best time to list is April 7th. Now, I think pinpointing to a day is pretty arbitrary. Instead, I'd give it like a month to 2 month time frame. So according to this chart, I'd say probably from mid-March to mid-May is really the sweet spot if you're selling your home. But if you're buying your home, that's when you can expect to pay a little bit more than any other point throughout the year. Now, in case you're concerned about the 2019 data, well, this market is very different. We're in the middle of an anomaly. That's absolutely true, but this is a pretty predictable pattern. So take a look at this graph. This is actual data from our MLS. This is the database that all the realtors use, that sites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, et cetera, all pull their data from. This is like the central nervous system of the real estate market. You can basically see that while the labels are definitely kind of in a weird spot and they obscure things quite a bit, it seems like all of the peaks over the last couple of years have been in May or June, sometime around then. And then like clockwork, after they reach that peak, everything starts to decrease. Now, of course, you can see that the big gap between, let's say, June of 2022 and basically June of 2023, which are the two big peaks right there, that is all due to mortgage rates. But you can clearly see the very quick upstick to where prices are recovering. Everybody's kind of accepting those high mortgage rates as the new normal and basically repeating the pattern that we showed in 2019. So the big takeaway here, pretty much every single year, almost like clockwork, the market really starts to soften. Prices start to decrease from like late June, early July, and then onwards until basically the next season when everything restarts and prices start to tick right back upwards. Now, before we discuss the second half of the year, which offers quite a bit more opportunity, and we'll break that down in a second, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you see these updates whenever we do them. The goal here is to just give you the best advantage, make sure you have all the information you need to get a really good deal on your home. Make sure you like the video if you're enjoying it so far. Here we go. Part number two, the fall and winter. This article on Realtor.com might convince you that late September, early October are some of the best times of the year, period, not just the season, the entire year to buy a home. And there are a couple of reasons why they go on to say this. Number one, they say that at the end of the summer, you've got all the homes that still haven't sold, that are still lingering on the market. And then, of course, every single month, you've got new homes coming on the market. Now, not as many as you'll see in like the trenches of the summer, that June, July time period, but combined, since we've got those ones that are still lingering and the new ones, there are quite a few options to choose from. So that's the first one. Number two is the same reason that the summer is so popular, the spring's so popular. Once those kids get out of school, then it's a mad dash to start searching, start touring homes so we can set up that move without interfering with the school year. But once school has started, there's a big drop off in people who are shopping for homes. So What that does, two things. Number one, it means you've got more options to look at. Number two is that there's downward pressure on prices because now we've got more sellers competing against each other. There's more supply on the market. And then, of course, number three is you'll have more time to make a decision. So some of the things that I'm still seeing today, people waiving inspections, waiving the appraisal, paying over the asking price, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, which some of those are extreme outliers, but it is happening. And your best chances of avoiding it, according to this information, would be the fall, specifically the sometime around September. Now, that's also backed up by data specific to Kansas City. So take a look at this chart, which breaks it all down. It's not just the sale price, they're breaking down the best week as well. So they say actually the beginning of September as opposed to the end. As we go down the list, you've got 16% more homes on the market than normal. You've got 30% less views of those properties. They're on the market 9 days longer. And of course, the median price is about 8% less. So when we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, 8% goes a long way. And while the fall seems to be quite the opportunity, if we get that graph back up, you'll notice that it's confirmed here as well. You'll notice, the darkest blue, probably the time when the prices are the least, according to this data, is pretty much between September and October. It looks like, especially as we get closer to the winter months, even according to that graph, that prices are climbing. Prices start to climb for some odd reason when the snow is out, when it's cold outside. That's most likely because people are buying home, at least going under contract on these homes around Thanksgiving, sometime in November. They end up closing in December or late December. I think that's probably why, but it's just odd to see the prices really start to tick up around then. However, the real premise of this video is there a perfect time to buy a home? And if there isn't, is there something that's near perfect or a better opportunity? I think probably from time to time, but at the end of the day, there's no perfect time. And there are three reasons for this. Number one is that the best time was 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago, right? Real estate prices consistently go up. So as long as you're purchasing a home and holding it for a good stretch of time, you're going to make some money. Number two is that luck happens, but it eventually runs out, which is why even the best traders on Wall Street cannot consistently outperform the market. It just can't happen. And it's also why all like the Bitcoin millionaires out there, how many times can they really repeat successes like that? There's a certain portion of this that comes down to luck, and that's not what we want to rely on when we're choosing the right home to purchase. And the last one, number three, is that none of this stuff that we talked about accounts for things like mortgage rates last year during the prime time to purchase a home really starting to skyrocket and take off and make it really difficult to purchase a home, right? Making it really unaffordable, or things like COVID or the economy. So at the end of the day, best time to buy a home is when you're ready. And as long as you can hold it for a good 5 to 10 year period so that you can walk away with a good amount of equity. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do these frequently. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Of course, if you'd like to talk one-on-one about your home search and how we can identify the value of your home so you know you're getting a good deal regardless of the time of the year, make sure to reach out to me. All my contact information is down below. This is the stuff that I love to do, and I'd love to work with you if you think we'd be a good fit. So go ahead, give me a call, text, or email. We can set up a time to talk. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one.